that we could spend a lot of money on celebration when people don't have enough to eat. So it was a very, very simple but elegant celebration. We also have here the how the center started. It started in 1961 by a Divine Word missionary brother from Holland. Brother Tertusius had been trained for more than 10 years in Holland as an orthopedic shoemaker, and also as he had his diploma in teaching and physiotherapy. He was a quite skilled and bright person. He had many, many gifts. I worked with him from 74 till he passed away. He was a very gifted man, a very spiritual man, and very dedicated to the physical challenge of the country. So in 61, he came to Ghana. He was supposed to be going to Papua New Guinea. But what happened was, Justina, how are you? Yeah, if you, whenever you can you come down? Okay, all right, after that. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. He's in the crowd right now. Okay. All right, I'm here. Okay. He was supposed to go to Papua New Guinea, and even there he was beginning to learn how to make saddles for horses, because he knew that they got around on horses. But then, because he was from Holland and Papua New Guinea had been under the Dutch, they would not give him a visa. So somebody from Ghana came and said, why don't you come to Ghana? He came to Ghana, and because of him, this center exists today. So in 61 he came, and he started very slowly to see what the needs were and also to use his skills. So then he had to start training young men, and he trained some of the local gentlemen who had finished they finished middle school, like 6th grade. And he trained them how to do all the things that a handicapped person would need. Then in 65, we realized that not everybody can come to Anawajiri, that it's quite a distance from the north and places, other regions of the country. So we started the mobile unit. And the mobile unit continues today. We go to 42 stations throughout the country on a regular basis. The assistant director is head of that team, and he will be leaving on the 9th with his team to go for 3 weeks to the upper and northern region of Ghana. In the 2nd week of every month, we go to the Volta region, the 3rd week to Brongahapa, and the 4th week to the east, to the western and central region of Ghana. So we cover everyone. In 67, we started the children's home. And that was because after we had races, etc., the parents didn't know how to use them. They didn't know how to put them on. They didn't know how to make their children walk with them, because the children would cry. And of course, being a mother, you don't want your kid to cry, so you take this home. And in this, we then knew you have to walk. When you walk, you have to walk. Now I remember the little ones here, and they'd be doing the first day, and I would say, lunch is there. Now, you can have lunch now in the next 5 minutes or the next 5 hours, but if you're not going to move, you're not going to get it. And so, we did not allow parents to stay. So anyway, that's how the children's department stayed. So the children, in the beginning, were all polio children. Polio now has been eradicated, and so now these children were general rehabilitation. Many of the children you see here will be amputees. The little ones, it's usually either birth deformities, that they were born without a leg, or we have a little boy in the back who is on that picture right there, Cody, holding his lower leg, so both legs have been amputated. Okay, there's quite a few that people knock down our children and just leave them. And so that's very, very sad. We have one child who's a trauma case, who's because of a violent father who cut her leg. So there's all kind of reasons why they have amputations. Some children, like Pavlov, he had knees that were very bad, and so he walked like that. And now he was from focus, and he's done very, very well. He'll go back for his last checkup and then go back home and go to school, and now he can play football and all that. So there, some children have cerebral palsy, and they're with us for treatment. So it depends on what the need of the child is, how long they stay here, and what kind of therapy. Then in 1975, we started a school so that while they were here, they could bridge their education. Now in the beginning, most of them did not go to school. And so what we tried to create was a school that would give them a good experience, that there was no beating, there was no screaming, there was no anything, except trying to learn basic reading and writing. Nowadays, many of the children are in school when they come, so this is to bridge while they're here, so that when they go back home, they can continue their education. In 2013, a year before Brother died, we started the Brother Tarsisius Prosthetic and Orthotics Training College. And that is a 3-year diploma program. And they are then, after 1 year of being interns, they take license tests, and they get their diploma in prosthetics and orthotics. Yeah. This is very, very important because when Brother was alive, he was the one doing all the teaching. And as we realized he was getting older, we tried to plan for the future. And we also needed a more, things in Ghana had gotten very highfalutin. And so now you have to have all kind of papers and everything to work. In the beginning, Brother trained them, we took care of everybody. Now they all have to have license. And so this after that, because now we have female technicians. Before that, nobody ever thought of a woman being a technician in the workshop. But now we have female technicians, and we have graduated quite a few females that, if they're not here, they're in other places in the country doing this work. In 2017, we started community visitation around our area. And we were shocked to find out that many children, just in the radius of 5 miles, some children had not been here. Many children were being locked in their rooms because they had cerebral palsy, and their mom had to work, so in order to protect them, she locked them in. So as they came back every week and they debriefed with me, we realized I started the Lynette Williams Cerebral Palsy Daycare Center. And that daycare center is running today quite well. We have 7 children, we don't take more. We have a physiotherapist, an occupational therapist, a special ed teacher, and a nanny. And the van picks them up at 7 o'clock. They're back here by 7:30, 8 o'clock. They have physiotherapy, occupational therapy, and then they have their classes with the teacher. Everything's going on at the same time. They have their hot meal at lunch, and then before they go home at 3 o'clock, they have a bath. So that by the time they get to their moms, they're ready for a few hours with her, and then they can go to bed. And that has been a successful program. In 2019, we built the administration building that we just blessed on Wednesday. And we are now looking at a satellite workshop in the north of Ghana. And that seems like it's going to go. So that's what we do here. We try to reach out to the physically challenged in whatever ways they need us. But the biggest problem, as I was mentioning to some of the ladies this year, has been normally twice a year we bring in surgeons from Holland. And they come for 2 weeks and do 30, 60 operations. For 2 years, they have not been able to come. So this would have been a full house had they come. But there are at least 100 children on our list waiting for surgery. So they're promising to come in April unless the virus gets worse. So if they can come, we will slowly start to decrease the list and more children will come here. Because if they, here it is to work with them after they had surgery to get them walking, give them rehabilitation. But if they don't have the straightness, you can't do that. We also have a club foot program. Those children just left last week. And the staff, you see, with orthopedics, if you have people coming out of the country, they have to be willing to listen to what's possible here and also the cultural reality. There's many things you can do, but sometimes they're not going to be culturally accepted. Or there's things that you may be able to do outside the country, but there's not that means here. So these two hospitals have been very good. There's also a doctor, Foriata, who's Ghanaian, has been in England most of his life. He comes and does clinics for us, and when he brings in a team, then we go to St. Joseph's Hospital. People have asked us, why don't you always go to St. Joseph's? We have nothing against St. Joseph's, but the problem with St. Joseph's is it's more for trauma. Like St. Joseph's is always busy. If you have an accident, you go to St. Joseph's.
Yay! How about you?
So these are the things you have been doing here.
Hi po, kuya.
Ikaw po na yun? Oo na. Ano naman salamin mo? Pares na kayo.
Yung pagkamay ng molde, yung pangkamay, papa. Fantastic.
Hi, kuya.
So she's the one na nag-operate din dito.
Hindi, may yung lalaki nasa
If the person want to sit down, then you bend your knee.
Ahawig nga niya. Yung
Naka-video.
Ayun na naman, singit na naman siya.
Ay, sorry.
Kuya Mike, harap ka Kuya Mike.
Tingnan mo. Nag-ganti siya. Say up here. Ay, he wants to do up here. You don't want to up here. Up here. I like this one. Up here, up here.
Joy!
Yes!
Sorry.
Thank you. Happy Christmas!
Kayo naman.
Jesse.
Bigas lang yung pwede ko na magmuna kayo mag-smart. Jason from the Aqua.
Tayong lahat, join us here.
Yes, Nak. Smile.
Michaela?
Dali. Ah.
Look at the camera.